Hello again from Dave at eastofnapa.com. I want to talk about three things tonight. One is one of my favorite wineries, one of my favorite wines, and how I keep track of my wines in my wine cellar. First, the winery. When we visit Napa, we used to fly into San Francisco and found it very difficult to get to Napa from San Francisco. The first time was crazy. Ended up downtown San Francisco on Interstate 10, I think it is. The highway ends right in downtown. It can take an hour to get through the city. It's painful. Next time we drove around the city through Oakland, a little better, we learned a lesson. From now on and evermore, we will fly to Sacramento. Flights are a little cheaper from Sacramento, especially from the East Coast, where I come from, the eastern part of the country, Midwest. And we can fly to Sacramento. It's about an hour, hour and a half drive, nice drive to Napa Valley, really easy drive. When we get to Napa Valley, the first place we come to is typically Silverado Trail, right, just north of the city of Napa. One of the first wineries we come to there is Chimney Rock, one of our favorite wineries. We're in a wine club. We have a nice wine club. It's one of our favorite wineries to go to because it's the first one we get to, and the wines are outstanding. We're going to talk tonight about my favorite wine at Chimney Rock. It's called Élevage. It's a blended Bordeaux-style wine. It runs for about $65 a bottle. Never disappoints. Tonight for dinner we opened an 04 Élevage. This happens to be an 05. Very nice wine. Goes well with food. Good nose on it. Friends will love this wine. If you love entertaining, it's a great wine. You can't go wrong with this wine. On the lower side, you have their Stag's Leap Cabernet. Can't go wrong with Stag's Leap Cabernet. It's a little cheaper, $35 to $45 a bottle. I think it runs. Outstanding wine. You're proud to serve it to anybody. The higher end, they have something called Tomahawk Vineyard. We love it. It's fabulous. A little more expensive for that special occasion. So Chimney Rock Winery, if you're visiting the wineries in Napa Valley, wonderful place to go to. The people are outstanding. The wines are great. Last thing I want to talk about is how I keep track of my wine in my wine cellar. I'm not a big wine cellar, a little south of 800 bottles of wine, but I'm a kind of an accounting nut by training, so I need a system to keep track of my wine. I use cellartracker.com. This is a service that's provided by a guy named Eric Levine. I've used it for maybe 5 or 6 years now, and Eric came up with a great system of keeping track and inventorying your wine and providing tasting notes. It's outstanding. It's free. Unless you want valuations. I like valuations of my wine. I like to know what they're worth for insurance purposes and just have an idea of what I'm drinking so I don't forget. So I pay an annual fee. It's voluntary. He kind of judges it based on the number of bottles you have in your cellar. I have about 800 bottles, so I pay him about $75 a year. As a matter of fact, I renewed it today for a year. Gave him $75. It's a great service. It's a wonderful thing. It allows me to actually print a wine list that's very, very good quality and very similar to what you might find in most restaurants. Actually, I find my wine list much more comprehensive than what most restaurants have in their for the wine list. So I can adapt it. I can print it frequently, and I can print it a number of different ways. So I love it. I love having people come into my wine cellar and saying, "Here's the wine list. Pick something nice. Go for it." What I use is what they call the classic mode. They've spent a lot of time and effort on what they call their new upgraded mode, and it's a little more stylish, a little more fancy. I prefer the classic mode, but you can use either one. But it's a great service. It's worth paying for if you have a lot of wine, and especially if you want to know what the value is for insurance purposes. But that's how I keep track of my wine. I can log it in by bin number. I can log it in by category, by country, by vintage, by whatever. I can pull reports up. There's buddies. It's a wonderful system. So if you want to keep track of your wine, if you have a number of bottles you don't know what you have in the cellar, Eric Levine's, cellartracker.com is worth the effort. And if you want to know the values, it's worth giving a couple bucks as you spend a lot of time on this thing. The guy needs to make a buck. So number one is Chimney Rock, wonderful winery to visit, great wines. We love the Élevage mostly. Tomahawk's outstanding on the high end. Stag's Leap's wonderful on the low end. Eric Levine, cellartracker.com. Check it out. It's worthwhile having. And that's what I have for you today from eastofnapa.com. And Dave, cheers.